You're listening to WKIT, Pyramid One World Radio.
You're on Pyramid One World Radio WKIT Radio. Let me introduce you to Bob's honored guest, Dr. Turi. Like the great prophet Nostradamus, Dr. Turi was born and raised in Provence, France. Famous UFOs contactee, cancer survivor, and clinical hypnotherapist, Dr. Turi is a captivating speaker of many books, and his profound cosmic wisdom continues to astonish skeptics and believers alike. He has been a regular guest on George Noory, Coast to Coast, and popular program. He also appeared on William Shatner's Weird or What TV show, the History Channel, the BBC in London, and on countless radio and televised programs worldwide. Dr. Turi graduated from the Royal School of Music in London and was recognized in the 2003 Marquis Who's Who in America. Dr. Turi has counseled people from all walks of life, including many celebrities such as Ivana Trump, Peter Fonda, Gary Busey, Denis Haysbert, John Gray, and David Icke, to name a few. Now sit back, relax, and close your eyes while Bob Charles and Dr. Turi explore the universe around us. Please welcome Dr. Turi.
Oh, yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Turi.
Well, Bob, thank you for having me, my friend.
That just told it a little bit about you. And I had put that on Facebook a couple of times, and people said, "Can I have the link?"
Thank you. It's a beautiful bio. I appreciate that. It covers quite a lot of my long life and experience. At 73 years old, still have a lot of things to talk about.
You got me beat by a year. Big deal.
Yeah.
Hey? Right. Well, listen, we're not walking around yet with Kane. So, hey, I'll take that. Definitely. Doc,
absolutely.
you are full of knowledge on what's going on right now in this world. And I'm telling you, my mouth is open about it all the time. I mean, it's just what I do. It's like open your big mouth and just let it all out. But in your case, you've actually honed the universe to tell you what is going on in the world, which is a little different than I tell it. So go ahead. Let me have it.
Well, basically, first of all, again, one more time, Bob, thank you for having me on your show and being able to bring a bit of cosmic consciousness to your audience all over the world.
It's an honor to have you here, Doctor.
All right. So all I'm trying to tell you is following those incredible UFOs experiences, I was downloaded the Cosmic Code Jurisdictions, which means God's cosmic design and how he speaks to us, obviously, through the sign or astrology. And that's where I gather through the channeling of Draco, which is a progressive, positive extraterrestrials, the information I'm going to divulge today. And as you know, I always put the green where the mouth is. I give dates, okay? And I'd like to give you first an idea of what's going on the world stage. And this doesn't mean Trump just yet, because on many radio shows, I am not allowed to talk about politics or former President Trump, but okay, on Bob Charles show, it's a very different world. I'm allowed to say it.
You can say anything you'd like here.
And that's the beauty of working with you, because then I can let it go. I can say what it is without reprimand or being fired, like Saturday Night It happened to me coast to coast.
Let me just remind everybody that this show, and it will be on Rumble. So anything, I mean anything, if you want to call up, just call 609-663-0153. If you have something that you want to get off your chest, don't look in the back and say, "Can I say this?" You can say anything you want to. We are heard right now around the world. So go ahead.
That's beautiful.
Feel.
That's beautiful. I'm definitely also willing to give some answers to some of those questions, adding to your own feedback, of course, because you're a very wise man yourself. Talking to so many people, I'm sure you picked up a few things along the way.
Just a couple.
All right. So, first of all, for about 18 months now, we have what I call a dragon that is currently into the sign of Scorpio. And this dragon is the most powerful, the most potent, very revengeful, aggressive, and even deadly. This dragon has been cursing the entire world for, as I said, 18 months or so. And it's going to be running the show all the way to July 2023. So that's to give you an idea. And that's one of the reasons why people are going crazy. The endless chain of suicide doesn't stop. School shooting are popping left and right. People are going insane, depressed, negative, and so forth. That is due to this nasty tail of the dragon in the deadliest sign of Scorpio, which is sad enough being manipulated by the negative group of extraterrestrials I refer as the reptilians. Again, anybody who wants to know the difference between the good and the bad, it is, go to my website, drturi.com, and watch my video on UFOs. Now, this dragon also involves secret to come to light, and or particularly sexual secrets. And this dragon also is cursing large corporation, forcing the rich to become poor and the poor to somewhere somehow become more rich. So this is a dragon where the truth is the key element number one. Now, to make the situation better, okay, just a few days ago, the most powerful planet of all after the sun, okay, because without the sun we all die, it's called Pluto. This tiny planet is the farthest and the smallest of all the family, okay, the celestial family, but is also the most powerful planet. And Pluto just entered the sign of Aquarius just a few days ago. So now you're having the plutonic energy of the dragon being added by the entrance of the most potent planet, Pluto, into the sign of Aquarius. And Aquarius was New Age, astrology, UFOs, meaning, of course, the UFO phenomenon will sooner or later come to light. Okay, not to forget also that Aquarius was New Age, technology, computers, and since Pluto is in this sign, it can produce anything that involves hijacking the internet. It could produce all sorts of technological advancement, secret coming to light. It could also produce trouble, since Aquarius was also the sudden release of energy and nukes, and that indicate again one of the reasons why Putin is literally manipulating the world. And in fact, to those of you who knows me very well, who have watched my YouTube video for months at a time, I was predicting and preparing the world for January 2022, saying very clearly in those videos that I see something coming up with Russia and Putin, because Russia is a Scorpio-ruled country. And the next thing you know, early January, my prediction came to pass when Putin invaded Ukraine. And that's when I said earlier, I put the green where my mouth is. Anyone who is curious enough can delegate, can deal into my work, either my newsletters and video, so they can check my claims. So that's to give you an idea of the energy that we are in now. So since Pluto is extremely powerful in Aquarius rules television, New Age, and freedom, humanitarianism, you can see what's going on in France, in Israel, in Russia. And it depicts also secrets involving sex and what's going on with the situation with the former President Trump, which is literally being cursed by this dragon. President Trump is just a human being like you and me, so my work does not involve remotely any form of political belief or anything to do involving conspiracy. I'm an astrologer, so don't kill the messenger. Leave your political, emotional response on the other side, okay? And then understand that Trump is very unlucky with the law. He was born with the tail of the dragon in Sagittarius. That was the codification of thought in the laws. So he's spending millions and millions of dollars trying to get out of trouble with attorney when he should have a guy like me or any of my students that would tell him exactly what he should do in order not to be cursed by this dragon. So I also predicted that anyone that has been directly or indirectly involved in the January 6th Capitol invasion will be literally, karmically, directly touched by the Scorpius dragon, and doesn't only affect Trump himself, but all his minions, which are some of them already rotting in jail. So basically, we are talking about an energy which is forcing the truth, which is forcing humanity to rebirth in so many levels, which is forcing for the fact, for the reality, offering wake-up calls to whomever, wherever is going on, and who is on the planet. So you're talking about a universal wake-up call.
Let me stop you there for a second. You said the rebirth,
right?
In a way, does that mean now? I mean, this is just my observation. In a way, people are sleeping; they have to wake up. Too many people are saying, "Well, it's not me. I'm not a political type person. I don't understand. He's a bad guy because they said so. They said so. Get it?" But after all of that stuff that you hear, what you're talking about is a straight line that, hey, this is what happened. This is where we are. This is what's going to happen. It's not like watching, and I can say it on here, CNN the other day. There was a guy saying all about this, he was indicted, blah, 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 and all these things, He's talking about these charges and everything else. Somebody had asked this guy, and I found this out. I mean, we have a big radio network. You know what I mean? It's like somebody had said, did you see they didn't put out the indict yet because he wasn't in the courtroom or anything yet. How do you know all these things? Because I know. Well, how many are there? I don't know. You don't know. Then how could you go on air and say everything you said and you don't know? Well, because somebody that's, well, I don't know, the teller, the whatever. I mean, I'm being funny here, but this is true. Somebody put a whole bunch of paper together like this, kind of, sort of, with words on it, and he read it. He's not a news person. He's an actor.
Exactly. So basically, this dragon is after the member of the government, is after the children, is after the police, and then it's just a kind of black and white type of timing where the facts have to be coming to the light. There is no way anyone can hide anything anymore. Now, you need to understand also Pluto, which is the forces of the power itself, the government, the Illuminati, the structure power, the snob, the rich, the corporation, and Pluto is the public. Pluto is the people, is we the people, is you and I mean Aquarius. So there is that battle between you have the power, you have the control, and then we want to understand what's going on. So it's black and white. So the phenomenon of UFOs will come to the light during this Plutonic Aquarius version of the universal current. So people are going to be shocked. Not also that Aquarius was the sudden release of energy, and Pluto tripled and quadrupled the power. That means incredible tornado that have killed so many people, incredible weather pattern that has never been experienced before. Of course, those who are not cosmic conscious, I call them the educated idiot. Those people will blame the weather change. They will blame nature. They will blame whatever, but because they do not know about the power of astrology, which is producing and adding more chaos to what's going on. But ultimately, what's going on? Why is this chaos going on? Life cannot be. Without a positive, you have no negative. Without a guy, there is no girl. Without a up, there is no down. Without a devil, there is no God. That's why you have 2 eyes, 2 arms, 2 legs, 2 sides of the brain. You are a human being, you're symmetrical. But you probably have heard of the reptilius or the reptilian mind. Okay, now you have 2 sides of your brain. You have the reptilius mind, and then you have the draconis mind. Now the reptilius are this negative group of extraterrestrials who need chaos, they need fear, they need misunderstanding, they need death, they need war, they need all sorts of negativity to reinforce the forces of darkness. Now on the other side, you have the reptilius. Now those aren't the draconis. These are the good entities that are stimulating your mind to create a beautiful piece of artwork, to create a nice music, to be nice, to be decent, to be productive for society, when the reptilius will stimulate the mind of a scientist to create nukes or viruses. So there is a battle going on inside of you on the head, induced by those extraterrestrials. The good and the bad one are constantly bombarding you. Now, if you don't know about it, what you're going to do, you're going to become a robot of your stars, which are being manipulated by the reptilius. And then these reptilius who can only regenerate in dark matter with negativity are going to make you feel depressed, negative, aggressive, resentful, anything that you want in order to regenerate. They need negativity to stay alive, to stay creative on the nasty dirt of negativity in time and space through dark matter. So that is what's going on. But to be able to perceive the archetypal realm of supracosmic consciousness and understand what's going on outside of the 5 logical, rational human sense, you have to have cosmic consciousness. You have to be educated, or you have to be intuitive by birth. And you happen to be one of those guys who can understand things and use such an incredible objectivity to make sense to the world we are living in. And that's what's going on. But since this is such a far-fetched information, a lot of people, I call them again the educated idiots, cannot relate to me. And they think he's a cuckoo, he's crazy, doesn't make sense, he smoked too much pot. When I never smoke or drink in my life. Okay, only when I have a good time. So basically, that's what's going on, and that's my dilemma. And here I am with you, Bob, okay, an opportunity to pass on such incredible, very refined, far-fetched information on your radio show. And I wish I would have this opportunity any other shows, but I'm limited in other shows, not on yours. That's why I love to be here.
Oh, no. There's no limit here. No, we don't do that. Because, and I think you said it in one of the I was going to say a quatrain, but it's not, but it's close. But what I was going to say was the things that you say, so many people don't understand, because it's not because they can't. It's because they don't want to.
Well, again,
that's bad. I know it's a real bad thing, and that's to say, but it's true.
But you cannot always blame them, because the majority of people are indoctrinated either with religious or science, and they become atheist, or they become religious fanatic. Oh my gosh, you talk to Dr. Turi, you listen to Bob Charles Shaw, you're going to go to hell. Not realizing they're already on hell, on this dense physical world, in the honor of fear and ignorance. So it's hard to bring people to a different level of perception and get them to think out of the box, especially when the church has done damage for centuries. And as I said to all my students, I'm Christian because I was born in France. But if I was born in Asia or in Africa or anywhere else in the world, I would not be a Christian. So we are all geographically being cursed by a religion that has been imposed upon our family for centuries, which already been imposed that same dogmatic, archaic teaching by their parents. So you're talking about the dirt, the negativity, which was created by the reptilians to bring more conflict, because there is 875 different religions to choose on this planet. So since you don't have the same belief system, then you're going to get killed. There goes ISIS, there goes the Taliban, and there goes the religious fanatics. There you go. There is the response. It's all set by the reptilians at the core.
Here's something now. All right, let's give the people a little shot here. We got a lot of things going on right now. You've mentioned it before, and I'm thinking that with the climate change, which I think is the worst word in the dictionary. I mean, they should take Wikipedia or whatever and throw that in the garbage somewhere and just cancel it. You know, climate change. It's a word that inundates people. I mean, it's just falls down on your head. You know what I mean? It's like, oh my God, it's going to change. And really, it has nothing to do with the climate or change. Every single, I mean, now I just know this from the geology side of it, but every single climate has to go through phases.
Yep.
And those phases are billions, billions of years going through them. So therefore, the poles on each one of us in this solar system and the universe are all caused by the energy from all those planets that cause our planet to move. I mean, it gets just like anybody else, Ned. If you pick up something or if you smack yourself in the knee, you got a sore knee. Well, okay. If a planet over here, Ned, is circulated one way or the other, the Earth goes, oh, okay, so I'll just have to move, a trillion, quadrillion things, and I'm going to move this plate a little to the right, and all of a sudden you have an earthquake, and then some guy in Washington goes, oh, it's not green. You got to get electric cars. Yeah, that's definitely gonna save the Earth. I tell you.
You know what? I tell you what. I sent an email to the Seismologist Institute in Pasadena, and I told them they're related directly to NASA too, and geologists. And I said to them, be ready for October the 9th and October the 8th for earthquake above 7.0 or even 8. And I have the email, and it's all saved. I signed that a week before. It did happen in the exact date that I gave. When the moon is responsible for the tide, okay? That's where the word lunatic, moody, and crabby comes from. It is affecting the human psyche. And the moon cycle is 28 and a half days, which is a woman's menstruation. So in other words, when my wife gets a period, she becomes lunatic, moody, and crabby. Anytime of the full moon, everything goes berserk. So when the moon moves the trillions and billion tons of water, okay, it affects the tectonic plates.
Right.
And that's why I give those dates, because I know. And bingo, each time I give earthquakes that are at 6 or above. And it's not every day that you have a 7, 8, or a 6.0 earthquake. And again, it is only if you check my work, if you investigate my work and my windows and my timing, that you will realize that I'm way ahead of all the geologies combined together. It is not I'm the best doctor to know. It's not an ego point, it's the fact. But if you don't investigate, how are you going to know? As far as the Earth is concerned, do you know how old is the Earth, Bob? Billions of years old. And do you know how many civilizations there are in our feet melting in the lava? Mother Earth.
Something you just said there too. And how old is the Earth?
Yeah, exactly.
There was nobody around long enough to
say yes.
Yeah, find out how old the Earth is. You can't tell.
No, that's what amazes me.
They talk about the Big Bang.
Yes, again, same story.
Was anybody around for that one, huh?
You know what? They said, 650 million years ago, or 220,000 years ago. But they give you very specific dates. God, how can you be so stupid to check, to believe sometime in the ridiculous mentioning of the scientific community? It's ridiculous. But anyway, that is my perception. I do not judge people. I understand people, even though that I have a problem with stupidity and I can become aggressive sometimes. Okay, I understand what's going on because there are no accidents to produce those earthquakes or the news that we see every single day. There are only cosmic circumstances at work that our scientific community and the public at large, our entire society, is not aware of because nobody has educated them about astrology. Astrology is a sort of science. Meantime, the most powerful and the most wealthy man in the world said, you know what? Millionaires don't use astrology. Billionaires do. That's J.P. Morgan. So this guy is smarter than those idiots who believe my work is sort of science. So what I'd like to do, again, as I said in your show earlier, Bob, I'm going to give you the green in the mouth, okay? I'm going to give you some dates. And that's where I want people to write it down, because I'm going to write a newsletter like I do with any radio host. I give dates, and then I get those dates, okay, and I write a newsletter. I share it with my worldwide reading audience, and we recap those dates, okay? So the first date I'm going to give you, okay, if you have your pen ready, is April 7th.
April 7th?
Okay, what's going to happen? Okay, I can only use keywords. Again, in the newsletter, you will have the quatrain, because I worked like Nostradamus using quatrains and very obvious keywords. Okay, the keywords is all about death, drama, secrets. Okay, police being killed, police killing people, anything involving the core of negativity, because it's a Plutonic window. And remember, the reptilians reside on Pluto. So this is going to be the most obvious date for drama, death, secrets, sex, the police being killed, crazy people killing people, school shooting, God knows what. Just be prepared. Now, the window will last always couple day before, couple day after. So I'm giving you the central date.
Like the moon.
Exactly. Void, of course. Okay. Now, the second date I'm giving you is the 14th. The 14th, that's where you're going to see the power of Pluto in Aquarius. Aquarius rules the southern release of energy. What is that? Earthquakes, tornado, volcano, explosion, Japan, France. You're talking about the energy of Aquarius. So the keywords for the 14th is expect big surprise, shocking news and shocking videos, news from the cosmos or UFOs. So again, I will go into the detail as I write the newsletter related to your show tonight, okay? But the third date I'm going to give you is the 22nd, okay? It'll be pretty much the same energy as the 7th, okay? I don't want to repeat myself, but death, drama, secret, police, the keywords will be more explanatory once you read the newsletter. And the last date I'm giving you is the 25th of April, and that is the beginning or the end of important phases of life. This is where you're going to lose a job, find a job, you're going to move, you're going to invest in something, you're going to sign a contract, you're going to get married, you're going to get divorced. So think as the beginning or the end of important phases of life, pretty much like all those tornadoes that happen during these windows, and thousands of people are now forced to relocate because it's an ending of their life. The same with Trump, which means the beginning of the end of important phases of his life, which means being indicted, so to speak. So I will give you all the details as I make those quatrain, and over the next few weeks, or maybe a month and a half, then I'm going to collect all the news so that you will realize that my UFO predictive legacy, okay, is reliable, should be heeded, and most of all, should be shared so we can save precious lives.
Let me ask you a question about the beginning and the end on the 25th. Would this be the day that people should think about either ending a job and beginning a job, or changing a relationship, or changing their thoughts, the way they think about other people?
It's preset. It's preset, Bob.
Yeah,
it's preset.
It's preset. Oh yeah. I'm saying it seems to be something like a change of physical and mental.
Right. It's preset. Remember, I'm into the future, okay? But you're talking about a few days from now, okay? At the end of the month. So then this is, the truth is not within one's soul. The truth is outside. When you start to investigate, when you think out of the box, when you get challenged by people who are more intuitive than you, don't reason the same way, because not a single human is made the same, okay? I have my gift, which is sometimes a curse, because I can see the future, not only for everybody, but for myself, okay? And I'm pretty successful. That's why clients never stop knocking at my door, okay? All I'm trying to tell you, pay attention to what other people say on that day. Maybe your wife, it can be very close. Maybe it's you, okay? Maybe it's a friend or a child, okay? But the key word here is beginning or ending of important phases of life. And believe me, what is Trump going on through now is definitely the beginning of the end of important phases of life, and that is the energy that is in. Make sense? So
Yeah,
it's got to be pretty obvious.
yeah. Does that mean that maybe he'll be less buoyant?
Well, it's a wake-up call. In some ways, it's a wake-up call that he's going through. Okay, maybe his lesson is to learn humility because he was born with a dozen of gold spoon in his mouth, like the royals who have never worked a day of their life, who don't know what it is to pay a bill, okay, or to worry about anything. It's a wake-up call. It's a pointing out humility and to realize that you're not above the ultimate rules. Would it be the laws of man, the laws of the divine? That's what I'm trying to say. And then there is no, again, without opposite. Life is a constant process of changes to start with. Okay, the news are like the weather; they constantly changes. But certain cosmic wind bring certain type of news, and that's what I'm doing. Now, I have what I call SOS to the world deadly window, like the one coming up on the 7th and the 22nd. All right. So if you are cosmic conscious, you're going to be more careful because when I said avoid large gathering, okay, you see what happened during this window, that some people were partying and the next thing you know, the roof collapsed and killed everybody. So during those days, life does not stop. You've been through those cosmic windows since you were born. But if you are aware of them, okay, you pay more attention. You do not join groups that could bring you trouble or get you killed or send you to jail. Okay, you use the stars because that's what God created. He created the stars and the heavens for more than the sake of beauty. He gave them to us for interpretation so that you may lead a safer and a more productive life. But it's not everybody who has the gift to transcribe the hieroglyph of the universe. That's my gift. Like you have a gift of the gab, communication and investigation. Every one of us has a UCI. UCI stands for Unique Celestial Identity, which is based upon your karma. So you're going to come on this world with gift. You're not going to teach Michael Jackson to sing and dance or Tyson to fight. It's a gift. You're born with those stars that are going to melt you into a specific destiny. If you don't know, okay, then you are a robot of those stars, and that's where the danger is, because now the reptilians, the negative group of entities that are in your head, okay, can stimulate you to use your stars to kill other people or to destroy the light. That's just sort of a matter of being aware of what's going on, of those forces that you cannot necessarily understand or even assimilate or even believe, for that matter.
You know, the only thing I can say about something like that is, I mean, I'm listening to you and you're so correct. I mean, if I was going to say it myself, I would say what you're saying. I mean, it's so logical. It's like if people don't listen to it, they have to be in another planet somewhere, not this one.
Yeah, exactly. But you know, Bob, I'm 73. You're what, 74, 72?
I'm 72.
Okay, so we have years behind of experience. We have, you can only judge people because of their education, their experiences, their intelligence, and most of all, their stars. If their stars are compatible with yours, like our stars are very compatible, okay? If not, we wouldn't be together. There's no accident because a magnet will attract a piece of wood in my line of work, okay? So if you vibrate at a high cosmic energy, like I do, then we are going to attract, and that energy will be flourishing and producing the light for those who do not vibrate as high as we do, but they're going to be challenged. Maybe those guys have something that I should pay attention to. And then that's it. You create a spark of curiosity. Okay. And that's the essence of growth. You are curious. You're not stubborn. You're not stuck in the box. You're not scared. You're not a religious fanatic. You're up and up. And that's where the light, the enlightenment will come your way.
You know, you talk about religious. They are, let's just say, I'm gonna be universal on this one. The government, in a sense, rejects some of the religious part or the spiritual part of what this nation was built on. And that's something that really, really bugs the hell out of me, in a sense, only because of the plain reason that we know there is something bigger than us.
Exactly. But again, the perception of religion is based upon the religion you were brought up with. I personally think that we all have been, cursed geographically because of religion. Because religion has you like, it's just a fact, has created more death and more pain than all the disease and all the wars and all natural disaster combined together. That in the name of religion. In France, we had 100 years of religious war between the Christians and the Protestants. Yep. And that's when the king finally realized that they're all going to kill themselves. So we closed the church, we opened the bar, and we sent our girls topless on the beaches. So we have grown because we have history behind us. But America is based upon 200 years of puritanical principle. It's all based upon what the Bible says. But again, this does not mean God does not exist and Jesus doesn't exist. The problem that I have with religion is that if you Google Dr. Turi, Pope Francis, centuries of deception, you're going to see pictures of all the popes being taught astrology by the Vatican Council. You're going to see pictures of the Pope being enthroned under the sign of Leo. They are not there to teach you Jesus' initial cosmic ministry, which is, of course, astrology. Because when Jesus wanted to introduce humanity to our Father in the heavens, he didn't have the Bible in mind, because religion and the Bible came 200 or 300 years after his death. What he had in mind was the essence of his 12 friends, the 12 apostles, right? That reflect the 12 Jewry, the 12 tribes of Israel, the 12 sin, the 12 notes of music, the 12 months of the year, the 12 hours of the day, the 12 signs of the zodiac, and your 12 houses, astrological houses. And that's what Jesus was teaching. But again, the politically oriented church of those days, knowledge is power, ignorance is evil. They didn't want you to know. Only the clergy during those days had the money, the pen, the paper, the know-how, the education. They wrote the Dead Sea Scrolls. You're not going to read the real Dead Sea Scrolls information because they are loaded with astrology and UFO relics. Okay, they are buried. The real Dead Sea Scrolls are buried into the 75 miles of secret library of the Vatican. So that when it comes to religion, you have to dig a little bit deeper. Again, God never came down, wrote no Bible, okay? But the reptilians hijacked the mind of Neptunian born, okay, and create 875 different religions.
What the original Bible that went through, it also went through the Anglo-Saxons. So when it came out the other side of the king, it's not exactly what was written in the first place.
No, not exactly. And you have to remember, it is because of the Roman emperor that Christianity became the ultimate religion all over the world. Okay, because this emperor happened to be a Neptunian, which means he was prone to be infected by the reptilians to propagate the codification of thought and stop curiosity and stop the understanding of God, cosmic design, and how he speaks to us through the signs. There is a lot to say about religion, but it's a very, very sensitive topic. It's like politics. So it's one area that I tend to shy a little bit away, because I don't want people to believe I don't believe in God or I don't believe in Jesus, because I do, but in a very different, enlightened way.
Well, you can. This is just my taking of the whole thing. There was a Jesus Christ.
Oh, hell yeah!
Be
sure of that.
Who or where he came from, we'll probably really never know. But I got a funny feeling. I've got this feeling that he was endowed with a gift from not of this earth.
Yeah, the stars. Let me explain, if I may ingest something now about Jesus. You probably read in the Bible 3 wise men following the stars. Okay, well, those guys was very, very wise, because they were astrologers and they were also connected with the force of extraterrestrials. So they knew then that a supreme stellium, which means a hell of a lot of planets, were going to be in the sign of Sagittarius, which is the prophet. My rising is Sagittarius. And this stellium was going to be taking place in the Middle East. So they had to have a human being born under those stars. The next thing you know, goes the Virgin Mary, who has a baby, And here goes Jesus that pops out of the Virgin Mary. But how can the Virgin Mary have a child if she never had sex? That's called artificial insemination. It goes the ETs, because again, you cannot follow the stars on the back of a camel unless they made turbocharged camel 2,000 years ago. Okay, they were following the stars. They knew all about the stars, and that human being could have been you, could have been me, could have been anybody. That human being was under the jurisdiction of a supreme stellium, a set of stars that led him 2,000 years ago to start the age of Pisces. Okay. And now, slowly but surely, with Pluto in Scorpio, Pluto is destroying the old, is exposing the truth. Okay, so luckily he didn't kill the Pope. He was pretty sick not long ago. Right. But he is destroying the age of Pisces, the age of religion, the age of deception, and he's bringing the new age, which involves not only the reality of our space brother, the ETs, but also astrology and all that is metaphysics and technology. So that's where we are right now. Like you said earlier, the moon, we are void of course between the age of Pisces, which started 2,000 years ago, and the age of Aquarius, which started in 1945, when humans started to develop the first sudden release of energy nukes in the Nevada deserts, but explosion. So we are now, as Pluto is entering the sign of Aquarius, pushing real fast into the age of Aquarius and the end of all religion. But I am into the future. Okay, and I cannot be judged. You cannot kill the messengers because I see far ahead of time and exposing this on all my radio shows. So it's not up to you. If you want to dig into my work, if you want to watch my video on astrology or UFOs, if you want to invest in my teaching, would it be a divine astrology, which is Nostradamus 16th century methodology, or in my new tarot table, I'm going to start a new tarot course very soon. We got a bunch of people from all over the world that are already graduated and more coming to learn about the tarot right now. So all is available to the truth seeker, which wants to think ahead of time. Again, as I said earlier, unless these people vibrate like you and me at our high cosmic energy, they will not connect with us. They will be in church, they will be in science, they'll be atheist or religious fanatic, but they will not seek the light because they are not ready. It's only when the student is ready that the true gifted teachers will appear, period.
I was going to say that, like, when do you think humanity is going to be ready for the insurgents?
It's already in place.
Oh, it is? Okay.
It's already taking place.
I keep thinking about this all the time because I mean I know people who have been on the ship and they've been robbed, taken, operated on, the whole 9 yards, and I've spoken to them. And they all have to. They all say the same thing. Oh, they're here. They could be down the block.
They're already in your head. You have extraterrestrials are forbidden by the Galactic Federation or Grand Cosmic Order to interfere with the human experiences. They're totally. It's impossible to interfere. Okay, so but
I was going to say, here's one for you. While you're on that subject, let me stop you.
Go ahead.
How about AI? As opposed to what is going on with the ETs that are around us now. Did they bring them? Did they start us? Did they change our minds that they're better than we are? Are we going to be AIs by somebody inserting or blending the two bio and non-bio things?
All right. In fact,
or are they really going to be able to map your brain, copy your energy, your thoughts, and inject it into an AI figure?
It's funny that you mentioned that because I just put a big, huge warning about AI and Pluto in Aquarius on my latest newsletter and even in my videos. Remember, we've been made in the image of God. I mean, this is what the Bible says, okay? If you take two images, exactly the same. In other words, you, me, your wife, and my wife, we are all gods and goddesses in training on this dense physical world, realizing that we have inherited the same creative power as God. That's why, take this example, this telephone here, my cell phone, 100 years ago, 50 years ago, did not exist, but it's here. Yeah, okay, because we created it. So every single day we are creating our reality, because the future is nothing else than the reincarnation of the thought. Now, this was created by the good ETs, okay, to use that technology to talk, to communicate, and to teach, like we're doing right here, right now. But the nasty extraterrestrials, we use that energy for porn. They will use that energy for misinformation. They will use technology like AI to duplicate yourself and myself, and then completely change the meaning or the truth of our meeting today. So as far as extraterrestrials are concerned, first of all, they are very real. It's not a product of my imagination. When you have a flying saucers, standing above your head, 30 feet above your head. And then when you go inside and when you talk to extraterrestrial face to face, okay, this is too far-fetched for the normal human being to accept. And that I understand, because it's a very, very personal type of experience to delegate to with the force, the ETs. The reality is, Bob, at 73 years old, I've got better thing to do than to make up stories, correct?
Of course.
It's real. I don't believe in UFOs. I just don't. I'm past the word believing. It's not a religion. They're real. They're here. They're doing their job. Okay? And their job is to influence you to work for the light, for progress, for peace, for love, for the age of Aquarius, for the future of humanity, harmony, cosmic consciousness, God enlightenment, or the darkness, and that involve AI. The negative extraterrestrials were once upon a time AI. Okay, they find a way to reinvent themselves in time and space. They started by genetic robots that have somewhere, somehow, some human values without being human. They are just robots that are doing, the cleaning the floor, flying the saucers, doing the technology, doing the hard work, so to speak. But what you have to be aware if these extraterrestrial, negative extraterrestrials are putting their negative energy into those robots, which in time and space can replicate themselves. Okay, and the Draconis are nothing else than the same thing, but they have chosen the path of light. The Draconis are feeding us with the forces of the sun. Okay, right. Without the sun, we all die. Okay, while the reptilians are feeding you with the darkness forces of Pluto, which is all about death and drama and anything that is ugly and gutsy, because that's the food they need, our negative thought process. This is why when I tell my students or your audience that the future is nothing else than the reincarnation of your thought, you got to be very, very cautious of every word that come out of your mouth, because it's been processed already through your subconscious and the reptilians. So if you're negative, if you're depressed, if you're jealous, if you're resentful, what you're doing now, you become a slave to those low entities in the astral plane, and you're feeding the forces of darkness, or what Christians call the devil.
See, you just hit one over there. Everybody calls him the devil. Yeah. It's not really, the devil is not really the devil.
The devil is me when I was 15 years old. I was stupid. The devil was me when I was 30 years old. I was stupid. I was not aware how I could hurt people. The devil was me yesterday when I didn't know about something. You cannot have the devil without God. You cannot have the forces of the day without the force of the night. It's your evolution that makes you the devil or the light. If you're negative, a child, you can call a child the devil. In another word, he's innocent. Okay, let's call it innocent, but he's For the Christian, that would be negative. That would be the devil, because it knows nothing. Is innocent. Is vulnerable. Is fragile. Okay, and that is affecting. The teaching of children nowadays are so critical. A lot of parents are not aware of incredibly sensitive children are. Have you ever been back to the house you were born?
Actually, you know what? It's funny you should say that. I saw a satellite picture the other day I went onto Google Earth, and I went and I looked at my house. Now, just to give you an idea, it was a Cape Cod kind of house in New Jersey, in northern New Jersey. And the house was bought by my father after World War II for $9,000. I was looking at it because they said all the houses went up in value. And I said, these are just, like small little houses. They're not huge. I mean, it was big enough for a family to have, whatever. So, okay, I get onto Google Earth and everything else. Then I go right into the realty thing. That house is over $350,000.
Wow, in value. I paid
$9,000 to
$144,000. I pay for mine is over $800,000 now. Hello. But what I was referring at, if you go there physically, okay, if you go there, Bob, to your bedroom when you grew up, or in the house inside, okay, everything in that house is so tiny. You will see everything. My gosh, I can't believe when I was a child, it was huge. In fact, the Christmas tree, when I was a kid, I was looking up, it would never end when it was barely 5 feet tall. So that when you're a child and you start to scream and argue with your partner, the children sees this as humongous fight that's messed up their psyche. And that's why a lot of kids, are messed up psychically because of these early experiences are disproportion because of the adults who do not understand. The kids see things a million times bigger when they're kids. So that's what I was trying to refer, that when you're a child, you don't know enough. And then when you grow up, so you're the devil, you're negative. And when you grow up, you become educated, smarter, wiser. So you bring more positivity and you become the light. So God and the devil is the same guy. It's just where it is in time and space. Do I make sense? Do you understand my philosophy?
You're coming from the same place I am. So, I mean, yes, I understand 100%. And I'm just hoping that everybody else does too. I'll give you a good the one as far as that was concerned. The thing that I always tell people all the time is, look, and this is when people are doing things that I consider stupid. That's my number one word in my whole word.
Me too.
when people are this, they are stupid. And I tell them, look, you can't do that because. Do you know that because that word has gotten me in more trouble than you would ever believe in a billion.
Don't even go there. Don't even go there.
I'm serious. It's like I said to them, I said, look, I got 50 years on you.
It doesn't work.
I'm wrong.
Bob, doesn't work.
I already screwed up more times than you've been awake on this planet.
All the parents on our age, they are probably laughing their head off right now. They make sense. The kids, they know everything. They're 13, 14, 15, they know everything. I was like them. I knew everything when I was their age. I was negative.
But you see, now they think they know everything.
Oh, well,
when you correct them, oh my God, the world just came to an end.
But that's the beauty of being a human being. Humans are not smart enough to learn with books, but we feel, and the body responds to pain. This is how God designed it. He designed it in a way that you get emotionally wrecked down or physically. That's red hot. Don't touch it. Oh no. Oh, that hurts. And this is how humans learn. Okay. And I'm still at 73. I'm still screwing up. Okay. I'm still evil and ignorant and stupid. That's what I will be tomorrow, next week, or next month, or next year. Because that is the way it works. And a lot of people cannot perceive that. It's so simple.
That's the way we were built. Sorry. I screwed up somewhere, but hey, look, that's the way it goes. But you know what? I tell you something, and I'm gonna ask you too, Ned, to put a little last little prediction. going on there at the end of the show. The one thing in that about the children that are growing up today, and I really, in many ways, I feel sorry for them.
Oh, Jesus.
When we were kids, we were, it was, English, math, learning, school, chores, help around the house, blah, blah, blah. And that was it. That was our lives. But in that whole, condular of things, there was the fact that we were learning all the way, a little piece here, a little piece here, a little piece here, a little piece here. Now, kids are funneled with these little things. You know what I'm talking about, this little thing.
Reptilians, yep.
It's
technology.
It's funneled into a world that was never, ever meant for a child. Never.
I can only agree. I couldn't have said better than you. When I was a kid, I remember I was living, on the weekend, might be 7, 8 in the morning. My mom never seen me all day. I was in the dirt. I was in the river. I was swimming. We didn't have any cell phone. We had nothing. I was eating with dirty hands and sleeping. God knows what. I'm still very healthy. Okay. What I'm trying to tell you about the kids, and that's going to be the core probably of my message and my mission on your show tonight. And this is why I'm going to asking all the parents to pay attention to what I'm going to say next, and most of all to provide me help. Okay. Because I am not a corporation. I am not like the Vatican, a corporation able to spend millions of dollars to promote the good word of Jesus. Okay. Don't get me wrong. That's all they know. Okay. Let me tell you what's going on with the kids. Like you say, children have to master 2,000 years of human evolution in a few years. So they're going to be learning algebra, science, history, geometry, languages, the arts. They're going to learn everything. Okay, that is incredible. They need to learn, like we did, okay, how to write, so that they can lend themselves with a certain level of education and then find a job and support their family, become a good, productive element of our society. We understand that. The problem is, that is where the problem is. The U.S. Department of Education, the parents and the teacher and society at large do not understand those kids are constantly degenerating, because question number one on the child is, what the hell I am and where am I going? So they're going to look into the phone, and since the corporation owns all form of communication and all media and all the information, they're going to land on religion or on science. Okay. Meantime, the real teacher, that would be me and all my students who are cosmic conscious, he can explain those children their relationship with the divine, how God met them through the stars, their moon emotional response to life, their Saturn, the fear principle, their dragon's head, the wheel of fortune, the black moon, the curse, Mercury location. All this is so critical for this child to understand who they are. So not knowing who they are, they're getting hijacked by the reptilian through technology, their cell phone. They're getting depressed. They're getting confused. They're getting crazy. They go and get a gun, which is easy to buy than to buy a pair of socks in the United States. Okay. And they're going to go back into school. They're going to kill the schoolmaster. They're going to kill the psychologist. They're going to kill their friends. And finally, they're going to kill themselves. Okay, that's why school shootings will never, ever stop. Suicide, the suicide plague that we have nowadays with young women and young boys, okay, will never stop, because their lack of communication with the divine, their lack of regeneration with the spirit. Religion don't cut it, science don't cut it. So they are taking the school, the university, as a subconscious response to what is missing in the educational vitae system. Divine astrology, or the understanding of God, cosmic design, the true mission of Jesus, cosmic ministry, which involve astrology. That is what's missing. And unless this is reinstated in our college university and accepted as a solid discipline like algebra or science, okay, school shooting and suicide will never stop. So that's why I'm asking all the people listening, if they realize and feel in any way, shape, or form that you and I, we have something that can help the kids of the future, well, then invest in my work and help me. Help me, because I'm not a billionaire. I cannot spend $100,000 on CNN or on Fox to advertise my schools.
There you go.
That's how I wanted to end up the show, my friend.
And you know what? I mean, we got to talk, man. You got to come back.
You know what? Let's do. I'm going to write this newsletter with all the letters of feedback on our meeting today with all these dates. I'm going to put everything together. And then once the prediction unfolds, you're going to keep an eye on that, because I don't know if you're on my mailing list, but I'm going to put you on my mailing list. It's all over the world, okay?
I always look at your stuff. I'm telling you, you do. I mean, you know, everybody. I'll tell everybody out there. I mean, everybody that's been on my show, and that I'm on everybody's newsletter.
Beautiful.
Thing.
Beautiful.
And every single one of them. These people they're amazing, and they're just it's like a faucet of education.
With the forces of light, we are the true seeker. We are the teachers of light. You're not in that position by accident, Bob. You were put there by God himself, because you've got a job to do as a messenger of the God. Now, I see your stars. I know your stars. I know everything about your stars when I dig into your UCI, or your unique celestial identity. And you have your own mission, okay? And you're doing your best, and it's working slowly but surely. But first, we have to fight the forces of evil, the force of ignorance, the force of skepticism, or the reptilians, in other words, and start to aim for the light.
Oh, there you go. So okay, so look, we'll talk.
Again, I'll be sure to be back on your show, because I like you, I like your energy, and then we could do a good job educating your audience.
We're gonna have a good time in that. What we're gonna do, when this is all done, then I'll send you the links of the show and everything. The audio side is good. I mean, people put it in their smartphone. They listen to the audio part of it. They plug it into their car and they can listen to it.
Oh, beautiful! Wow,
that works too.
Well, Bob, again, one more time, my friend, I want to thank you for having me on your show, and then let's do it again in the future.
Oh, we're going to do that for sure. You know what? I want to tell everybody out there now, when you do see this, you do see what we've done, what we've said, what Dr. Turi has predicted. Down the line somewhere, you're going to send me an email to bobcharlesshow@live.com, and you're going to say, damn, he was right. And he was. God bless y'all. Bob Charles.